Very good, sir. I'll start a list.
Noah Hawley managed to create an interesting rendition of the Alien universe through the series, bringing it to Earth and showcasing that there's more to the franchise than just the Xenomorphs. One of the other bigger arcs in the series is the Synths, and how they will become an essential part of the franchise going ahead. But one character hadn't been given a clear explanation through the series until the finale, where we found out the complete truth about him. Nobody knew whether Atom Eins was synthetic or just a human being who complied with everything that Kavalier said. Let's examine the character of Atom Eins and his motives on a broader scale within the series as the themes become darker and Kavalier provides the daddy exposition. But before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Then do it. You're fired.
Whoa. You can't be...
Who is Atom Eins? In the league of mysterious characters that appear to have some authority working right under Boy Kavalier, Atom Eins stood out like one that hadn't even been explored so far. The character had been there in the series from the very beginning, and we had only seen him standing next to Kavalier and following his orders. Not being very different from Timothy Oliphant's Kirsch, Atom carries out the deeds of his master without questioning a single time. Fans had been wondering if the character played by Adrian Edmondson was actually synthetic, just like Kirsch. Still, even that had been questionable, considering we didn't see him exhibit the same behavior as Kirsch with those mysterious expressions. However, some moments clearly hint that he may be synthetic, with certain responses feeling too unnatural for a human being. During the scene where Kirsch does his test on the image, Kavalier used a ball to gain its attention, considering it had been looking straight at Kirsch. Atom is the one who instantly caught the ball, and that is somewhat similar to how Wendy had reacted when Kavalier had thrown a ball at her. Then there were the moments where Atom followed every instruction without questioning it and walked right on the path that Kavalier demanded. There was a bunch of different synthetics that had appeared in the series, with the character of Morrow being a layered synth. Initially, we expected him to be a synth through and through, but now that we've seen the events of the ship, it's become clear that he wasn't entirely a synth and was a human who had been provided with synthetic advances. Plus, there was Kirsch and the other kids, who had us wondering if we would get to see their human elements completely disappear. The synthetic father. Atom was seen mostly as an enforcer in the series, someone who makes sure that whatever Kavalier wishes to happen continues to happen. From the very beginning, the man has been seen at the right hand of Kavalier, following up on actions that he has conducted and with an expression that doesn't really show delight, but hardly any disagreeable opinion regarding the options provided. In fact, there's a moment where we see Kavalier play around with Hermit and Wendy by leveraging them against each other through Atom. While Atom goes and has a chat with Hermit, Kavalier discusses the state of things with Wendy. He tells her that she needs to start working on the Xenomorph language, while Atom makes it clear to Hermit that he owes them after the transplant they provided, which actually saved his life. I wonder if it was really necessary, or if it was just something Kavalier did so that he could own Hermit too. Believe me, he would do that to someone. Who can forget one of the strangest appearances of Atom when he goes to Slightly to have a quick chat about his interaction with Morrow, and it appears entirely like an interrogation. Even though the two did share some chuckles here and there, it felt as though both Slidey and Smee were somewhat scared of him, and probably had some idea of what Atom could do if things didn't go according to plan. So they were very careful and clear about their responses, and it appears as though Atom was testing if he was telling the truth or not. Kirsch, who is more like a father figure to all the synths, was also looking into the conversation and was able to catch something that Atom missed. Kirsch instantly realized that there had been some interesting development in Slightly's behavior and followed it up to discover that the kid had been planted with some sort of hardware to allow Morrow to contact him. See, Atom might be strict and scary, but he wasn't able to catch this, while Kirsch was able to catch this development without much trouble. But the Season 1 finale has revealed that Atom Eins may not be just Kavalier's enforcer, he could be the boy genius's quote-unquote father. When visiting Wendy and the Lost Boys in their prison, Kavalier recounts that his biological father was abusive and jealous, threatening to kill him. To protect himself and build his empire, Kavalier created his first synth at the age of 6, a grown man, distinguished, who replaced his real father. He said, "So the boy, me, built a machine. My first synth. I was 6. I made him a grown man, distinguished. Yeah, one day my daddy came home from the factory, and there was my synth sitting on the sofa, and that was the end of Daddy. Or should I say old Daddy? Because that night we moved, and the synth became my new daddy." The editing of the scene frames Eins leading Hermit. At the same time, Kavalier narrates this story, implying that Atom Eins is the synth Kavalier created to act as his protector and surrogate father. Eins's British accent, commanding presence, and loyalty align with Kavalier's description. Kavalier's expectation that Eins will defend him, as in the final confrontation with Wendy, reinforces this paternal bond. Noah Hawley explained the character best when he stated, "Atom, as Boy Kavalier's right-hand advisor and enforcer, is a much more impenetrable character who's basically there in that corporate mindset. There is no morality, there's just what the boss wants." Even though the man doesn't really question the decisions made by Kavalier, he does show his fatherly concern and puts it on the table for Kavalier to consider. From the very first moment the man draws caution towards the idea of bringing the alien creatures to the island, until the last time when Kavalier decides to keep each beast in a separate confinement, warning that doing so will make it more difficult to keep them in control if things go awry. However, with this caution comes the follow-up behavior, where he goes completely in agreement with Kavalier's next input. Kavalier saw the intelligence of the image and realized that the perfect combination would be to provide the creature with a human host. He starts looking for the least important person on the island who could be used for this experiment. And right then, Atom states that he will begin preparing a list. Yes, Atom not only agrees with the idea of getting a human host for the image, but actually complies with the idea of sacrificing a human for the sake of the experiment. The first law in the 3 laws of robotics states that a robot may not injure a human being, or, through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm. If we follow this law, then Atom cannot even think about making such a list where humans would be harmed and subjected to brutal murder by the creature and finally die. The only way around this would be if he were an android that Kavalier had designed in a way that the first rule doesn't apply to anyone else but himself, or the clear stake isn't established. Thus, Atom is more focused on the achievement it would provide Kavalier, namely being able to converse with an intelligent being from across the universe. During the fight with Wendy, we see him complaining about the very thing that he doesn't have against Kavalier, the ability to say no. In fact, Wendy and the other kids can say no because they are synths with their own choice and their young consciousness along with them. Actor Adrian Edmondson talked about the world of Alien Earth and his character in an interview stating, "I play Atom. You probably know that in the future, the idea is that, probably quite a good idea, that, well, an accurate idea, maybe not good. The world will be several multinational corporations, and well, we basically own it. Prodigy owns one of them, and Prodigy is Boy Kavalier's company, and I'm his absolute right-hand man. To an obsessive point, he's a vicious enforcer. He understands that Boy is a genius, and that he holds the power to make him a lot of money, and therefore does everything he can to crush any opposition or any product. This isn't in the script, but when I think of Atom, I think of Atomizer. He's a man who atomizes problems, sometimes quite literally. And about his character's motives, all the actor had to say was, "I'm not a villain." Will Kavalier take sides with Wendy and the Lost Boys? It seems that Atom might be the only guy who will back Kavalier in whatever he plans to do while continuously reminding him of the things at stake. Atom seems to be programmed entirely to serve Kavalier, regardless of the circumstances. Even though we don't know for sure if the character will be appearing in the future of the series, it's clear that he will not back out of taking Kavalier's side. In fact, he's programmed to do that only. When asked about the viciousness of his character, Edmondson stated, "All sci-fi is about whatever period is written. This one is about now, and we do have problems. Well, we have a conversation going on about the use of AI, which in this is translated into, it's a Pandora's box, isn't it? You can't close it. It's translated into the idea of sense and humans in human consciousness in robot bodies and stuff like that. Then we have to work out, is that good or a bad thing? Everyone agrees hip operations are a boon. That's good. But when you start messing and putting a human consciousness in another body, is that good for the planet or bad for the planet? Is that the monster? Or is the conceivable alien, is that really a monster? I'm sure the alien doesn't think he's a monster. We know from the first Alien film that aliens don't come from loving families. They grow out of eggs and have to find a human being to come out. I'm sure they don't think of themselves as monsters. Marvelous verdict. Adam somehow feels like the English butler that has become a typical genre trope now, like Alfred and Bruce Wayne and other such characters. The man looks after the boy genius, and at the same time warns him when things might get dangerous, while also enforcing everything that he demands. But if the synthetic uprising happens, I won't be surprised if Adam joins hands with them and poses a lesser threat from both Kirsch and the kids in comparison to whatever Kavalier might be grinning about. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.